What's up, guys? Welcome to Superwise. I'm John, and it's here. Well, I mean, it's been here, but I finally watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, and in this review, I'm going to spoil some plot points and reveals. It's been out for a couple of days, so if you haven't seen the movie, see the movie, then come back here and we'll discuss. So, did I like the movie? I didn't. I love the movie. This thing is freaking awesome. Let me start off by saying this. After seeing this 4-hour cut, the Justice League is a disgrace. It should be burned. Burn all your copies, guys. Just destroy it. It shouldn't even be canon. Just a disgrace. So let's talk about the overall summary of what I think of this movie. It's 4 hours. And guys, I was so engaged, I didn't get up once. I sat in my bed, watched the movie, didn't get up once. I watched it straight 4 hours like I promised I would. And wow, it did not bore me at one point. It was consistently engaging. The aspect ratio was fine. That's the aspect ratio that Zack Snyder wanted. Totally respect his choice. And I mean, it's tall IMAX picture. I didn't get distracted by the black bars on the sides. Looked great to me. And speaking of looking great, the movie itself looks amazing. Zack Snyder, even if you don't like his movies, you have to admit he's a fantastic visual director, and he just proves it once again here. Beautiful looking film. The score by Junkie XL or Tom Hulkenberg, he goes by both names. The dude made an epic soundtrack. I mean, I specifically like the Wonder Woman theme, the new Wonder Woman theme with the yodeling. That was really cool. He brings back the Man of Steel soundtrack a lot, which was nice to hear. Just great. The tone and the style of the movie is consistent. It's serious. There are some jokes here and there, but they're not as bad as the cringy Joss jokes. Basically, it's funny. All of the scenes that I like from the Justice League movie come from Zack, which I think is just, it makes sense since I'm such a Zack Snyder fan. And for the people who say this is the same movie, it's not. Okay, sure, it has a similar narrative structure, but this film goes in such a different and new direction. It's not the same movie. Sorry, it's not. The action is so epic and badass. The action scenes from the Justice League are repurposed here, and since the tone works so well and it's so serious, it adds this new level of drama and intensity to the action scenes. And even though I've seen these action scenes before, I was like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Because I was so invested and it wasn't a jokey film. And the 4 hours in it of itself is just a great thing, because with the 4 hours, the movie fully fleshes out the characters of this film. We know their motivations. We understand where they're coming from. We feel for them. It was amazing what the film did for the characters. Really just fleshed them out. Ben Affleck's Batman is my favorite Batman of all time, so seeing him here, more serious, with more layers. He was the same badass from BVS. Zack honored what he did in BVS and carried it over to here, unlike in Justice League, where Joss pretty much threw everything out the window and made Ben Affleck's Batman more of a punchline. So I'm glad that Zack kept Batfleck as Batfleck. Wonder Woman's a badass. I mean, that opening scene with her saving the hostages from the terrorists, that was just so cool. The fight scene is extended, it's longer. She's more of a badass. She throws a guy against a wall and blood comes out of his head. That's just insanely awesome. And, she still has that, hopeful persona about her, but she's still a warrior and she's still a badass. I mean, when she cuts off Steppenwolf's head, that was seriously hardcore. And Wonder Woman 1984 just shows her as this hopeful superhero, but that movie forgot that she's actually a warrior. She's a badass, and that's what Zack understands. And wow, Cyborg. The Justice League completely butchered his character. Here, we learn about Cyborg's backstory. We know why he's tormented and why he resents his father. We know how he's feeling about being a cyborg, and it's a really interesting, tragic backstory that I'm so happy we got here, because it really fleshed out the character and the power set that Cyborg has. So cool. So many cool new abilities that we didn't see in the Justice League. Wow. Ray Fisher. I don't like the guy personally because of the nonsense drama that's going on with him right now. And the dude just cheated himself out of a great DC future. He had the potential to be a great Cyborg, and now he's fired. Sucks, man. From Justice League to here, Ezra Miller's Flash is kind of the same character. I like him here more, though. In Justice League, he's constantly cracking jokes, and it just ruins the intensity of some scenes. And here, he cracks some jokes too, and, you know, there's like one part when Cyborg's dad dies, and right after that, Flash is cracking a joke. I was like, I don't know if that's the right time, but here in this movie, Flash is much more serious. He's still jokey, but he takes situations more serious when he's running through the Speed Force. He's talking to himself. He's gonna prove to himself that he's the best of the best, like his father said. He's better here. And that scene where he saves Iris West, beautiful looking scene, visually stunning. And honestly, I wasn't over the moon about Aquaman in the film. I mean, I like Jason Momoa. He's awesome in his own solo Aquaman film, really humanizes the character. And here, you know, he's a badass, and I understand his motives. He has a really nice conversation about Amazons and Atlanteans with Wonder Woman. I don't know. His character was fine. Didn't really stand out to me. Now, Superman. In the Justice League, one thing I love is the treatment of Superman. He's very Christopher Reeve-like, and it just makes sense in the story in Justice League. He dies, he gets resurrected, he has this new, profound meaning of life, and he's so grateful to be alive that he acts more upbeat. Beautiful way to do that in Justice League. Here, I also like how it's done, because he puts on the black suit, which is badass, and he fights Steppenwolf, and he's a savage. He just frickin' destroys Steppenwolf. He uses his heat vision to cut off his horn. He uses his freeze breath to freeze his spear. He just pounds Steppenwolf over and over and over again. And it just shows the dark path that Superman is going to go on into the future. This is very much a continuation of the Man of Steel and BVS Superman, which I appreciate. I love the treatment in Justice League, but I also like this different take on the resurrection. And, you know, when Superman takes flight with the Man of Steel soundtrack in the background, he has the black suit on, it is really awesome. It's really awesome. But one of my issues with the film is, why? Why does he put on the black suit instead of the classic red and blue? There's no real explanation of why he chooses this suit. It's cool and everything, but just what's the purpose of it? I remember in an interview, Zack Snyder said that he puts on the black suit because on Krypton, his parents wore darker colors of this Superman suit, and the black suit is used to represent his family life. Totally get that, but why wasn't it explained in the film? That's just my thing. Still love the black suit. I just would have loved to see, you know, an explanation of why he wears it. And just overall, I love the League and how they interact, because in Justice League they came together because they had to. Here it seems much more natural. They have nice interactions with each other, they talk to each other, and they feel like a team. And I like Steppenwolf as the villain. He's menacing. He is not that weird looking thing from Justice League. He's menacing. He's evil. He throws people against walls and blood just gushes out of their head. You know, the R rating really lends itself to Steppenwolf. It makes him more menacing, more evil. He has motivations. We understand where he's coming from. And yeah, I like Steppenwolf as the villain. He's awesome, just cutting off arms and limbs. Crazy. I also like Darkseid. Ray Porter does a really great Darkseid voice. And here he's only like an extended cameo, like he's Thanos in the Guardians of the Galaxy, sort of just in the background. I wish he was in the movie more. Darkseid, the character here, is threatening, he's menacing, just wish we saw more of him. And for like the 5 seconds we saw Green Lantern in this film, freaking loved it. I want to see more of this DCEU Green Lantern core. I just love seeing Green Lantern in this film. Awesome, he's awesome. And I knew he was coming, but still, I was surprised. Martian Manhunter, I really like him in this film. When Martha turned into Martian Manhunter, even though I knew the storyboards and how that played out, I was still like, oh my god, it's Martian Manhunter! And a lot of people don't like the look, or they do like the look. I personally like the look. The suit's pretty comic accurate, and he looks like an alien with his head and everything. You know, I like the look. Most of the CGI for just everything, Steppenwolf, Darkseid, Martian Manhunter, it all looks great. It all looks convincing. And I just like the idea of Martian Manhunter, how he was the general from Man of Steel in hiding, and now he's coming out of the shadows as his true self. I just love that idea, and I love how Martian Manhunter was used in this film. Okay, now let's talk about that epilogue. So Deathstroke knows who Batman really is. He knows his true identity. Then we see the future, the nightmare future. Batman, Mera, who's British for some reason now, Flash, Cyborg, Deathstroke, and Joker are all together trying to team up and fight evil Superman in this nightmare sequence. Now, let me start off by saying this. This Jared Leto Joker scene was a reshoot. The reason why Zack Snyder gave us this scene is because he knew that this might be his last DCEU film, and he wanted to give the fans what we hadn't gotten before, a Batman-Joker interaction. And so to that I say, thank you, Zack. Really, finally we have them talking to each other. The scene was great, with Joker egging Batman on, being like, yeah, I killed the boy Wonder, what you gonna do about it? And Batman is like, I promise you, when Harley Quinn died in my arms, I promised to her that I'd kill you. And he dropped the F-bomb, and I was like, oh boy, it's about to go down. Now, I didn't hate Jared Leto's Joker in Suicide Squad. He was just a little too hammy, a little too like Jim Carrey. He wasn't on that same level as Joaquin Heath or Jack, hell, even Caesar. So, here, he gets a second chance, and what did I think? He's kind of the same Joker from Suicide Squad. I mean, he still has this really interesting dialogue. He calls Batman like tuna dip or something like that. He still acts a lot like Jim Carrey. His laugh is fine. Still sounds like he needs an inhaler. You know, like, the look is fine. Honestly, everything about Jared Leto's Joker is fine. It's not bad, it's just fine. This, if we saw more of him in this film, maybe I'd have a stronger opinion, but for right now, Jared Leto's Joker is still the weakest Joker. Jack, Caesar, Joaquin Heath, they're still on a different level as Jared. And I know Jared could be a really great Joker, but I just, here, I wasn't won over. I mean, the scene was great, how Joker was continuing to egg Batman on, and I like how Jared Leto's Joker is really unsettling. Like, he really has the wild card trait. I don't know, I just think he's fine. Nothing spectacular or fantastic. But I do respect Jared Leto's choice. Even with all the fan hate, Jared Leto still stuck to his guns and was like, you know what? I like the way I'm doing this Joker, I'm going to continue. I have respect for Jared Leto's Joker. You know, hopefully if we get a sequel, then we can see more of him in that dynamic with Batman. I'd love to see that. But that was my review. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you think of Zack Snyder's Justice League? I loved it. With 4 hours, the film really accomplished a lot. And guys, hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League 2. The critics and fans, the majority of both, actually like this film. Let's see how it does financially, but I'd love to see a sequel to this film. I'd love to see the Snyderverse continue on HBO Max, because I really like the direction it's going, this Mad Max nightmare world. I'd love to see a sequel fully set in the nightmare world. Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of this film? Hashtag Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, guys. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. I'd love to have you here. You'd be supporting the Superwise family, and it'd mean a great deal for you guys to come over and join the Superwise family. Subscribe, that will be all for me. And remember my catchphrase, guys. Stay Superwise.